I came into AFI having gone in film school for undergrad, and so when I was coming in, I had heard about AFI and met people that had gone to AFI, but I wasn't sure how different it would be from undergrad. And like you mentioned, it was intense. I think first 6 weeks when we have boot camp, it's the perfect name because that's exactly what it is. And I think that's just what surprised me.
I was prepared to know that first year you're cutting 6 films, but I didn't realize how intense it was. It's 16-hour days, 2 weeks in a row, but it was great. I loved it, and I loved how different the second year is, where you're really focused on 2 important projects, and it's intense in a different way because you have to be more disciplined the second year with your own time, as opposed to the first year, you're given your schedule.
I think it's the kind of level of professionalism that you're required to operate at. And when you first start, with boot camp kind of proves that you're not really ready for that, or if you think you were, you weren't. And what over the year, you slowly learn how to operate on that level and how to get to that stage. And that's, I mean, when you look at the progression, for one, that I feel I made at the beginning of the year, and where I am now professionally at the end of the first year, the difference is vast. I think the improvement there's definitely been there.
To move from, well, I'm from Chicago, so to move from Chicago and then move out here where everything is expensive, rent is high, and people are totally different, and you can't get around LA without the car.
Yeah.
So to go from somewhere where it's easy to get around by train and you can't get around without a car here, and everything's expensive, it's really hard, but I think it's worth it. Like, I have people that go to other schools and they started a year before me, but I'll finish a year before they'll finish. And when I hear them talk about their program, they're still trying to figure out what they want to do, and I know what I want to do. I know that when I come out, I'm gonna go assistant edit for someone.
That's one of the things that AFI really helps bring about, is how to identify a good collaboration and how to identify a collaboration that might not be going so well, but how to improve it and how to get the best out of working with someone.
Yeah, I think in the first year it was great because we do work with 6 cycle films, and you work with that many more directors and producers and DPs. You learn the collaborations that are going to work, and like Lily said, I've worked with one director here 3 times now. We're doing our thesis together. We've talked about working together in the future, and it's great. And even if you do fall into a relationship, a working collaboration where it's not working out as you thought it would, you are pretty much forced to learn how to make it work. Because everyone's going to see your film at the NVSR. You don't want to put up something that you're not proud of. I came into AFI having used Avid for about 2 years before, and I was still amazed at how much more I learned through the technical classes that we did and just editing all the films. And then also what was great was being able to learn Pro Tools and have classes on Photoshop and After Effects just to add to your knowledge.
Well, when most people come to a course, most people editors today are mostly fluent in Final Cut Pro. But here we operate on the Avid, and by the time that you get to the end of your first year, you know that thing inside out, and you're able to operate it at a very proficient level. And I think that's very important, to be able to know how to work the software and how to get the best out of material.
Yeah, and AFI has been really great too with emailing editors about editing internship opportunities for the summer before your second year and during the time before you start shooting your thesis. And by doing an editing internship, that gives you contacts for when you're done with school. And that'll just lead to hopefully assistant work, because you'll be assistant for quite a number of years after AFI. But that's great because that helps you get into the union, and it's just, from what we learned with the editing alumni breakfast and talking to other editors, it's basically a lot of luck happens. From once you get one job, it basically kind of helps you get the next one with the people that you've met on that job. So
I think what's great too is the alumni mentor program. I've met some great alumni through that, and even my alumni mentor You know, we meet up for coffee, we just talk. I get to ask him anything I want about his journey out of AFI into the real world, where he's at now. And like you were mentioning, the internship opportunities are great because we're always getting emails from the staff here about editing internships. And even in your second year, for instance, my thesis films don't start until my second semester. So I've been using this semester to work with an AFI alumni on his feature. So I think that really helps, that we are such a tight-knit community that even when we're leaving, the school helps us get in touch with people that have been here before us and are out there doing what we want to do.